Hi, good morning. This is episode number 133 of Authentic and Ambitious with Allison Crow. And originally we had something else planned for you. I was processing through it in my mind last night. I was going to talk about what it's like in the week of a soulful CEO. And as I was actually thinking through all the things I wanted to share with you and what would be valuable, and going through my regular morning routine, I felt compelled to do something different. A part of my morning routine is when I'm walking, I often listen to podcasts, and sometimes that's helpful and not helpful. And so today, this episode is titled Beyond the Noise, Reconnect with Your Business. There is so much noise out there. There's noise in my world right now too. Just thanks for being gracious. They're building a house next door and it is what it is. So, and it's interesting. It's an interesting metaphor with the house next door. My office is actually it's at the end of the house, closest to the house they're building. And this is where I work, and this is where I write, and this is where I focus. And the noise can either be an excuse or it can just be noise. And so I want you to take this moment. This is a different kind of episode. And even this episode could be noise, but my hope and my intention is to remind you to reconnect with you and your business. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and as I listened to it, I noticed that my response was about competition and questioning myself, was I doing it wrong? And I'm not. And so one of the most detrimental things to us small business owners is comparison. Another one is all the ads and coaches and advice givers and information and everybody telling us what we have to do, what we need to do, what we should do. Heck, a lot of times I even give my clients strategy and advice. And at the end of the day, you're the decider. And so I want to take a moment just to guide you through a little bit of a mini meditation. Every time I say meditation, Leroy does a nice big breath. And I want you to take a moment to drop in, slowing your breath. And first of all, being grateful for the life and the business that you have. Being grateful for the opportunity to work for yourself. I know it's not always easy, but it's such a huge opportunity. Take a moment just to breathe into the seed of your idea and your desire for your business. Most of the people I know and work with are helpers, service providers. You're business people, and you're committed to doing things with heart. And our businesses do exist on the block with all the other noise. And as I thought and was planning on this episode about what a soulful CEO's week looks like, I couldn't help but realize how much distraction there is and how much of my week is pulling myself out of distraction. Even with the things that are supposed to help me. Even when I pick up books, sometimes the book gives guidance that's not in alignment, that's not authentic to the practice that I'm creating for myself and my clients. And so taking a moment just to reconnect with your authentic desire for your business. And again, the definition of authentic is being true to one's personality, spirit, and character. What are you doing in your business that's in alignment, that's true to your personality, spirit, and character? What are you not yet doing that's true to your personality, spirit, and character? And I realize those of you who are ambitious, those of you who have a strong desire to achieve or cultivate or create, while it comes from inside of you, it's cute. What I see beyond my screen is my bulletin board. And my husband came in one day and drew this little flower amidst all the other things I have written. And your business is your flower garden, your garden. I often use the phrase with my clients, we're gardeners, not machines. And yet even the best gardens are out in the weather. And so taking a moment to remember the values that you started your business with. To understand your core values. Taking a moment to breathe in an energetic balance of connection and systems. I know in the past I've gotten to where I relied on systems to do some work for me, and what I really want is to connect with my people. I shared in my birthday thank you post that there's all these moments in 49 years that I've had. And sometimes the desire and drive for business success my eyes get greedy for that. My belly gets greedy for that. Now, make no mistake, I enjoy making money. I want heart-centered people to be prosperous. And the way that I know to do that best is to slow down, back off the noise for a minute, and check in with what I know. And so I want to remind you to check in with what you know works. Most of the people I work with are in growth and achievement phase. Some of you listening or watching may be newer. And so you may be in the learning phase of learning new skills. But most of you, like I see Jennifer and Shelly watching here today, you guys know what works. And maybe I put myself out of business by simply reminding my clients that you know what works. I know what works for me. I'm going to give you a current example. Y'all know I have loved social media. I have loved social media. I am so grateful for it. And I think my first afternoon on Clubhouse, right, this new app, my first afternoon on Clubhouse was kind of fun and exciting. And I can see potential. I can totally see potential. And every single time I hop on Clubhouse, as a consumer or even as a moderator, my whole body tightens up. And I hear my own little business whisper say, exactly, Shelley, slow and steady. I hear my little whisper say, not this time. Don't get distracted. So I'm not saying that Clubhouse is not a great place to be. I'm just saying it's not a great place to be for me. I can feel in my body the distraction. I can feel in my body and in my intuition. Thank you. I love Leroy. Boom, felt a similar response at times. I can feel in my body. I hear spirit. I hear Allison. I hear stay with the fundamentals. And the fundamentals aren't about the tools. The fundamentals are share your heart, show your work, build your community, and write. I feel like writing my list more love letters and less sales pages. I feel like connecting more. I'm not interested in someone I really adore invited me to be on an Instagram it was like a follow pod. It's like those emails you get around Christmas time, like, let's send everybody a pair of panties, or let's send everybody a bottle of wine. And it ends up being a pyramid thing. And the idea was to promise you at least 1,200 to 1,500 new followers. Man, I would love to have 1,200 to 1,500 new followers. 2 or 3 times a week, I get an email from somebody at a company offering to do the same thing. And I don't want your tools or your automation or your tricks. I want to create from the heart content that touches the people I have. And if it touches 1,200 new people, great. I want quality over quantity. I want the right people at the right time. And I've built a business model. Memberships are not for the faint of heart. I've built a business model. I only work on 2 things. I don't have any one-on-one clients right now. I only do my membership and my mastermind, Spark and Hustle. I'm only focusing on 2 things. And it is so tempting. Man, y'all, I look at TikTok and I see all these people. I saw one of my friends went viral on TikTok. I have not had the chance to ask her, did it actually turn into business? Were you able to connect with people? There's so much distraction out there. And if you want to play or experiment in distraction, my tip for you is to put that on your calendar as exploration time. I'm not saying these things might not be the place for you, but go back to your authentic values first. Some people I know, one of my values that's really coming back is just connection. And I shared in my post yesterday that honestly, my heart wall has gone up. I was tired. Politics, all these things. I've been working on my fears, and I've been working on my fears of rejection, and I've been working on holding capacity. And my heart is feeling stronger, and I am feeling more confident in myself to really move in an open-hearted place. And I'll tell you, I feel for you guys that are in business. This being in business in public with visibility can be both amazing, and it can be it can be a beat down. It's both and. I just want to remind you that whatever is going on out there, you know what works for you. I want to remind you that most likely, if you're not working what works for you, none of the new tools will either. And I know we all want to be in the cool kids club. I saw my friend Rachel K. Albers is doing a series of Instagram stories where she's just letting it loose, and it's so human. And one of the things she said yesterday is she said, I want to be an artist, not a marketer. And what she meant was that she just wants to share her art, to share her heart, right? And I felt that. I love marketing, but the reason I love marketing is because I think of it as sharing my heart and showing my work. And so I just wanted to come today and remind you to reconnect, especially, those of you who are listening live, you get to see this on a Monday morning. And I'm trusting that those of you who will hear this on the podcast or come across it, whenever you come across it, go in and listen to your heart. What is your most simple plan for your business? And what I mean is knowing your values, knowing the one or two things you want to sell and service and impact people, and then how will you connect with those people? I think it's interesting on Clubhouse, and I guess just because this morning I was in there for a little bit and was in a couple of different rooms. I know you might meet somebody famous and they might help you. That goes back to last week's episode of doubling down on yourself. And I certainly have gotten a lot of followers from there, and I'm grateful for that. And sometimes when I'm on Clubhouse, I think I would rather be loving on the clients I have. Retention. Retention. What do you want to cultivate in your business? Do you want to cultivate popularity? I know that for a long time, my ego has had this thing about being famous. And I'm detached from that as my voice goes away. I'm detaching from that. Just happenstance and intentionally. I realize that's my need to be significant. And yesterday was the day after my birthday. And when I realized that there were, my next door neighbor who knew me, I was born in February, he was born in April. So I've known him his whole life. I've known him longer than any of my brothers and sisters. Wished me happy birthday. Friends from high school, friends from college, clients over 15 years, family members, colleagues from other jobs I've had, children that I taught kindergarten to who are now grown married adults. I don't need fame. I have these moments with all these people. I have these moments, and I want more moments. And I think it's easy. I have a pretty big following on Facebook, or at least a lot of connections. And there were quite a few birthday messages to go through. And I really didn't want to take that for granted. Someone takes the time to wish me happy birthday. And as I went through, instead of just going through and saying thank you or hitting the like button, I really just went through and I read their messages and I saw that person's face. And, as I was sitting there, I just reconnected in a second with moments that I've had with these people. And I realized I'm the richest person in the world. And I wanted to remind you of the wealth that already exists in you. So much of the noise tells us we're missing something. Most likely, we're not missing anything. It's all right here. And that's what I wanted to remind you of today. That you do have everything you need. And for a moment, put down the phone and put down the temptation to figure out the new, greatest, latest entrepreneur thingamajigger bobber and love on your people. Love on your mission. Serve your existing clients. Give good whatever you give. We're all out there. A lot of us we're selling something. I'm selling something. I have something for sale. And I'll tell you what I know for sure after all these years is when I am aligned with my authentic self, being true to my personality, spirit, character, and values, and I show up and I love on my people and I share my heart and show my work, I don't need another fucking tool. If the tool feels exciting and possible, go for it. But if somebody out there is telling you you're missing out, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe you have everything you need. And so for a moment today, pull yourself away from the noise and open up your journal and open up your heart and open up your deepest business desires. And I'm not talking the ones, not some fantasy of Oprah discovering you. I'm talking about looking up and seeing what all you have. I had the best year I've ever had last year. I set no goals. No goals. My only goal was to buy a new house. We ended up buying a house that cost the same as our old house. That's what's so funny. And I didn't want to move because I didn't like my house. I wanted to move to be in nature. The episode that just went live over the February 6th weekend was about self-leadership, and self-leaders cultivate an environment around them. That was my only goal, was to upgrade my environment. And I happened to have the biggest financial, both growth and profit year I ever had by loving on myself, loving on my business, and loving on my people. And it is so tempting, especially at the beginning of the year, to think, how can I go bigger? How can I go better? Sure, if it were bigger and better, that'd be nice. But if it's smaller, it's not any less. It is what it is. And so I just want to remind you how much you already have and how much you know. And perhaps your brain is a little bored with it, but I don't want any of you building your business on a dopamine hit. Don't build your business on a dopamine hit, sweeties. If you need a dopamine hit, find it in your hobbies. Right? If you need some novelty, don't do the novelty in your business. Do what works. Do what's in alignment with your personality, with your authenticity, and with your ambitions. That's all I wanted to share. I don't want to create any more noise than I need to. I think I'll close out with sharing some stuff that I have. These are my intentions for the year. These are my goals for the year. I'm going to stand up just so I can see them. I'm cultivating authenticity and self-compassion, resilience, profound engagement, and profound rest. I'm cultivating centered peace, play, laughter. I'm committed to boring but helpful habits. Walking, reading, writing, water, asking, inviting, and connecting. I'm cultivating courage. I'm cultivating conscious prosperity and profit. I am cultivating influence. I would like my audience to grow, but I'm not going to buy it. Slow growth has been just fine for 15 years. I'm cultivating physical vitality and strength. And I'm releasing the mindless scroll, comparison, people pleasing, shrinking and cowering, and bullshit drama. I'm cultivating relationships. I'm here to remind you that you can trust yourself, that you matter, that your business matters. Simple is sustainable. Trust your spark. Create your own version of hustle. And with that, I'm going to close out. And my team might want to know what I'm selling. Allison, what's the CTA for the end of the podcast? I don't really have a CTA today. My call to action would be for you to connect with you and your business and your desires outside of the noise today. That's what I want to leave you with. Thank you for listening, for sharing. I appreciate you.